والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Now, Bismillah will be explaining another chapter today which says Babu Ada'ul Khumsi min al-Iman, the chapter in which giving out 1/5 of what you slaughter is what is part of faith. And according to scholars, they said generally it was surprising to people that what they mentioned 1/5, like giving out from what you slaughter, which is also a form of sadaqah. They were surprised at what that Prophet mentioned it. Al-Bukhari categorized it under that Prophet categorized it as what Prophet mentioned as what part of Iman. And the reason is because Iman, we say that Iman is actually what every good thing you do, every act of worship. Scholars made us understand that what every act of worship you do that is good, be it compulsory, voluntary, or just from your own choice, is what is part of what Iman. So that's just the key point, not just the 6 pillars of faith that are the pillars that are what you know as Iman, that what makes you a mu'min. But when you practice any other good thing, it keeps increasing your what? Your faith. So he said, حدثنا علي بن جعد قال أخبرنا شعبة عن أبي حمزة عن أبي جمرة استغفر الله عن أبي جمرة قال كنت أقعد مع ابن عباس يجلسني على سريره. So Abi Jamrah, he said that what he do sit with Ibn Abbas. يجلسني على سريره. Even sometimes Ibn Abbas will make him sit at his own spot. Sarir means bed, but they use as spot. A bed is mentioned in the hadith. So he makes Abu Jamrah sit on his bed or chair. So that means Abu Jamrah was always sitting with what? With Ibn Abbas. And it is one of the normal tradition way that Arabs show respect, or the way scholars show respect to their friends or loved ones. So if a scholar is here, for instance, and his friend is in this gathering, probably the scholar is teaching, the friend should enter this gathering, or a very respected person to him should enter this gathering. You ask the respected person to what? To sit down here. That's why you see when you go to ceremonies like weddings or sadaqah or aqiqah, that's the name ceremony. You see when the sheikh is sitting, the sheikh that wants to actually name the child is sitting. When you notice another sheikh enters and sit at the back, you ask the sheikh to come and what? To sit with him. You create space for the sheikh. That is actually what Ibn Abbas was doing here. It's actually a normal thing for sheikhs and what? Scholars, that's what they do to what? Their loved ones or other fellow scholars like them. It's the way they honor their loved ones or scholars like them. So he said, فَقَالَ أَقِمْ عِنْدِي حَتَّى أَجْعَلْ لَكَ سَهْمًا مِنْ مَالِي. So Ibn Abbas told Abi Jamrah they should stay with him for a while, so that what he can give him a share from his what? From his money. فَأَقَمْتُ مَعَهُ شَهْرَيْنِ. And Abi Jamrah stayed with Ibn Abbas for about 2 months. ثُمَّ قَالَ إِنَّ وَفْدَ عَبْدِ الْقَيْسِ لَمَّا أَتَوْا النَّبِيَّ صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said when the people of Abdul Qais, when they met the Prophet, when they went to the Prophet, that Ibn Abbas was telling him that when people of Abdul Qais, that he's trying to tell Abi Jamrah the reason why he asked him to wait behind, so he can give him part of his money, he can give him some money. So he was not telling the story of Abdul Qais. He said, in the Wafd Abdul Qais, that when the people of Abdul Qais, when they went to the Prophet, أو بالوفد غير جزايا ولا ند أو نعم صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من القوم. The Prophet asked, who are these people? أو من الوفد, or who are these delegations, also form of people? قالوا ربيعة. They said they are people of what? Rabi'ah. The Prophet said قال مرحبا بالقوم أو بالوفد. The Prophet said, we welcome these people, welcome you people or you delegations, also like people too. So غَيْرَ خَزَايَا وَلَا نَدَامَ. He said, welcome you without any sadness or regrets. فقالوا يا رسول الله إنا لا نستطيع أن نأتيك إلا في شهر الحرام. So the people of Rabi'ah, they said to the Prophet ﷺ that what? That they can visit him except for what? Shahr al-Haram. And Shahr al-Haram are four. Those are the sacred months. They are four. Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram. So you can also categorize it from Muharram, Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah. So Rajab is a general, why they are called sacred months is because Rajab, it's a month that it is generally known that Arabs do what? Perform Umrah in that month. Generally known. They perform Umrah in that month. And it's considered that Rajab, there's a hadith that said, Rajab Shahrullah. It's clearly stated that what? Rajab is what? Is one sacred month on its own. But why Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram are what? Are also sacred months is because what? Those 3 months are what? They are surrounded by, they are the one that surrounds Hajj, the time for Hajj. Dhul Hijjah. Dhul Qa'dah is the month before Dhul Hijjah. Dhul Hijjah is the month you perform Hajj. Then Muharram is what? The one after it. So those 3 months that surrounds that 2 months and the month which Hajj is performed, they are called the holy month. The Rajab is called holy month because what? The Arabs then, the Muslim Arabs then, they do perform Umrah in that month. So those are the 4 Shahr al-Haram. وبيننا وبينك هذا الحي من الكفار مضى فمرنا بأمر فصل نخبر به وراءنا. He said that there are some people, some non-Muslims that they have conflicts with, that you should command them on things that they are going to tell those people behind them. That's the people that they can convey message to. So it was just some of them that came to visit the Prophet. He said, okay, Prophet should give them some commandments that they can reveal to what their people when they go back. That they can give them some preaching, some advice. So when they go back, they will teach it to the people. So, وَنَدْخُلْ بِهِ الْجَنَّةِ, and they can use it to what? In entering paradise. وَسَأَلُوهُ عَنِ الْأَشْرِبَةِ. Then they asked Prophet about ashriba, about drinks. About what is halal for them to drink and what is prohibited. That's ashriba, first stated that what? About alcohol. فَمَأْرُهُمْ بِأَرْبَعٍ وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنِ الْأَرْبَعِ. And arba'in. So he commanded them to do 4 things and he forbids them to do under 4 things. He said, أَمَرَهُمْ بِالْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ وَحْدَهُ. That they should what? They should believe in Allah alone. They should solely believe in Allah alone. قَالَ أَتَدْرُونَ مَا الْإِيمَانِ. The Prophet asked them, he said, did you know what is the meaning of Iman? Man iman billah wahdahu. You know what the meaning of to worship Allah alone solely, or to believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He said, قالوا الله ورسوله أعلم. They said what? Allah and His Messenger knows best. So when you say Allah and His Messenger knows best, it does not mean you are trying to what? Give partnership between Allah and His Messenger. Just like in another hadith where they said, Ma sha Allah wa ma shi't. The Prophet said, are you trying to give Allah a partner? Are you trying to use me as a partner with Allah? That's when they said, anything Allah wishes or what you wish. So he corrected them that what? Don't partner, that's like you are actually associating me as a partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means why he did that was because it was among Ashya Kawniyya. That's things of the world generally. Things, Allah is the one that only makes destiny. It's the one that destines things. That's not the power of the Prophet, power of Allah alone. So if you are attributing the Prophet to such power, it's like what? You are associated partner with Allah with the Prophet. That's why it forbids them from doing that. But when you say Allah wa Rasuluhu alam, that's what Allah and His Messenger knows best, is because the knowledge that he's talking about is what? Ilm Sharia. Knowledge of what? The deen. And you can never know the knowledge of the deen except what? Through the Prophet. That's why they say Allahu wa Rasuluhu alam. That means the Prophet knows from what? From what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has what? Taught him. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to him. So that's why they say Allah wa Rasuluhu alam. Ay ar-Rasul ya'alam min ilmillah. Prophet knows from what? From the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to him from his knowledge. That's from what he has revealed to him. He said, Allah wa Rasuluhu a'lam, qala shahadatu an la ilaha illallah. So when I said Allah and His Messenger knows best, then he explained it. He said, qala shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That the first thing is what? You should believe that there is no God except Allah. You should testify that there is no God except Allah. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger of Allah. Wa iqamu salah, then you should observe salah. Wa ita'u zakah, then you should pay zakah. Wa siyamu Ramadan, and you should what? You should fast in the month of Ramadan. These are things that we know that what? They are the pillars of Islam. But they mentioned it here what? As levels of Iman. So he's explaining Iman with Islam. That shows even the Iman, the Islam stuff, is also what? The Islam stuff is also falls under Iman. It also falls because they are righteous deeds. So there are still what? Things that what? Increase your faith. That's why he mentioned them while he was still explaining Iman to them. So he said, وَأَن تُعْطُوا مِنَ الْمَغْنَمِ الْخُمْسِ. And this is the point of the hadith. He said that what? They should give from every slaughter, from each slaughter, al-khums. That they should make sadaqah with 1/5 of what they slaughter. To slaughter any animal, for instance, for anything, 1/5 of it, just maybe you share them into 5. The 5th part, you should remove it for what? For sadaqah. Just use it as sadaqah. 1/5 part of everything you slaughter, make sure you use it as sadaqah. That you can give it to the poor, can share it to your other, or maybe families that are not having enough. Can just give it. Just make sure that for everything you slaughter, 1/5 of it, you are giving it out for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he said, وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنْ أَرْبَعٍ. Then he forbid them from what? From 4 things. Which is the question they asked about Ashriba. That was asked here. He said, عَنِ الْحَنْتَمِ وَالضُّبَاءِ وَالنَّقِيمِ وَالْمُزَفَّةِ وَرُبَّمَا قَالَ الْمُقَيَّرِ. So the 4 things that he mentioned that he forbid them from was what? Al-Hantami wal-Duba wal-Naqir wal-Muzaffat. These 4 names, Hantam, Duba, Naqir, Muzaffat, they are actually what? They are names of pots. Pots made of all those clay pots. You know those clay pots of those days that we do have? Some big, something like a big calabash. That they do put water, that the water will become cold. So something like this kind of pot. That's the way they have such in out of them. So this pot, some are the ones they use in what? Making the alcohol. The other one, the others are used in what? Storing alcohol. So he forbids them from this pot. That means he's forbidding them from what? From the things that are inside the pot. So when he forbids you from the pot, it means what? Somebody forbids you, don't touch that pot. That means what? You should not go inside what? What is inside the pot. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا zina, don't go close to zina, that means what? You should not perform zina, because there's no how you perform zina without going close to it. So that's why he said, don't what? You should avoid, forbids you from what? Those 4 pots. Those are the popular pots that were used in what? Making alcohol. That means it's forbidding you from what? From performing, from what? From taking alcohol. That's why he mentioned the statement. He forbidden from touching the pot. They said probably he mentioned muqayya. Muqayya is another name of those pots. He said وَقَالَ احْفَظُوهُنَّ وَاخْبِرُوا بِهِنَّ مِنْ وَرَائِكُمْ. So he said you should memorize them. Then you should what? Teach it to the people that are behind you. So that to preach to the people when you go back. So the points of the hadith, just summarize the main points of the hadith. The first point of the hadith is that the hadith is plainly stating that what? Based on from the chapter, he said Bab Ada min al-Khums. From the chapter that says what? You should give 1/5 of what you slaughter. And we know this as sadaqah and not as part of Iman. So the hadith from the chapter explained by Uthman al-Khamis, it means any good thing you do is what? It is part of Iman. That's one. Then the other one, it shows that what? When you perform any good deeds, it increases your Iman. When you perform good deeds, it increases your Iman. That's why after I have mentioned the compulsory, the things, after I commanded them to do some things, it forbids them to do others. That shows every good thing you do increases your Iman. And every bad thing you do decrease your Iman. Every bad thing you do decrease your Iman. There's not like small sin. It's not like what? Small sin. That's why scholar says that the Qur'an says you should not what? You should not لا تخف لا تنظر المعاصي لا تنظر كلة المعاصي بل انظر عظمة من تعصي. He said, don't look at the small, the little amount of what the sin you are committing. Don't look at the, maybe you said, okay, I just said a little lie now. I just did something, just this little bad thing. I didn't do any huge thing. Don't look at the minority of the sin, but look at what the superiority of what the person you are offending. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who you are offending. Look at that person. So you said you are committing a sin. Don't look at the sin you are committing that is minor, but look at Allah. Rabbul Alameen, the Lord of the universe. Look at him as what? As mighty as he is, you are offending him. Just as a human, we know that Russia president is what? One of the most powerful presidents. Just see yourself offending such person. How will he, even if it's just in a minor way, how will he destroy you? Then now imagine it to be talk less of who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are offending Allah. Then it's okay because the minor say no. You should not commit it at all. So that's why they said when you do any good deed, it increases your faith, it increases your iman. And when you do bad deeds, it's what? It decreases your iman. Then the last one is what? You should what? Give 1/5 of everything you slaughter. Anything you slaughter, you give 1/5 of it. Anything you are sharing, you want to do anything, just make sure that there's a part that you are giving back to what? To the poor and masakin. You want to do a wedding, make sure that you are trying to remove some parts that what you will give to poor people. Don't just do it for the wedding alone. Remove some parts, give to the poor people. That's why Paul said that one of the people that enter hellfire, there are those people that what celebrate big, that celebrate maybe big weddings, big ceremony or anything. He said, do you know why? Because two reasons. One, they waste a lot. Two, they chase out what? People who need it the most, which are the poor people. And they give it to people that don't need it. Which are, they only invite rich men. And those beggars who are suffering, who are poor, they will leave them behind without giving them anything. That Prophet said what? Anything you do, any slaughter you make, any sadaqah you are trying to perform, make sure there is a part you give it what? For the sake of Allah. We remove it for what? For the poor people. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy on us. May He ease our worship. May He increase us in wealth, in health, and in knowledge. ومن هنا أقف أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم وآخر الدعوة الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة من لدنه وبركاته.
والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه.